I'm going to show you how to do some editing in Bridge in Photoshop. So you're going to want to click Bridge, find your image that you want to edit. So I'm going to edit this skeleton right here. I'm going to right click and open in Camera Raw. And then the main things that you want to look at here is your white balance. So do I like how it was shot with a little bit more of a yellow cast to it, or do I like how it's the nice bright white? I think I like the auto change for the white balance. You can click auto here. That looks too washed out. Go back. Make some adjustments yourself. So I like to play with contrast. Always make your contrast nice and strong without it looking overdone. I like to use the blacks and kind of make those a little bit saturated, so bring that down some. And then maybe play with your clarity. So just mess around with these slide bars. I recommend waiting to crop in Photoshop. So click Open Image. It automatically will open it in Photoshop. Give it a second here. Then once it opens in Photoshop, right here at the crop tool, I like the perspective cropping tool. Especially if your photo kind of looks like this one where it's got watercolor paper, it's a little bit warped looking, and you don't want to crop out the work that you've done, you just want to make it a better image. So you can use these perspective cropping tools, and it gives you a little bit more of an option with a bad photograph or warped paper to get a better crop. Hit return. That looks pretty good. I might do a little bit more cropping with just the basic crop tool. So crop that in and down just a smidge. Hit return. That looks pretty good. Some things to think about using tool-wise over here in the bar. You also might want to use the Band-Aid tool. If you've got a smudge that you don't like, the Band-Aid tool, like if I want to get rid of that smudge, for example, just covers it right up. Band-Aid. Pretty awesome. Right here, this hand. This is the dodge tool, and then if you click, the burn tool is underneath it. The dodge tool makes things lighter. The burn tool makes things darker. So if you've got an area where you need to increase the contrast and it didn't work that well, try the dodge and burn. So let me show you. If I click burn, here's my brush. Up here is the brush layer. A soft brush is always good. Maybe I want to really increase the size. So there's my brush. If I want to go in and just make the contrast in the background here a little bit darker, I can do that with the burn tool. Now what I've done looks a bit unnatural, so make sure that what you're doing is done with a very light touch and it doesn't overwork your image. But it could really help you increase some darks in a certain area. Then the dodge tool works the same way, only it's lighter. So you could keep clicking, and make something really light. Another tool that you might want to think about, or another area you might want to think about, is image, auto tone, auto contrast, auto color. Auto tone, that looks pretty good. I think I would consider changing this image to auto tone. It just was a slight change. Sometimes, again, it looks unnatural. Don't do it. But play around with image, auto tone, contrast, and color. Once you have your image the way that you like it, again, it's supposed to look like your actual image, only maybe slightly better. Then go to image, image size, and you're going to make your image really small, but it's going to fit on the AP website. So you can't have anything bigger than 10. So whatever your longest or largest size is, you need to change it to 10. Check and make sure that the constraint proportion is on so it doesn't skew your image. But here, the height is the longest side, so I'm going to change that to 10. It automatically changes the width to 7. And then I'm going to take the resolution down to 72. Your image is going to get really tiny. That's what it's supposed to look like. Then go to File, Save As. Save your image to something that you can remember. Save it to a location that you can find, whether it's an external drive, flash drive, Google Drive, whatever the situation is. Save it. and then you want to save it as a JPEG. Click Save, and you're good to go. That's it.